What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, season 5 of the Circle of Knowledge podcast. You know, it's funny. This is just a little project that we started one of our businesses about 4 years ago. And we were like, I think it's a good idea to get on podcasting. And so we borrowed, I don't have it in here. We basically borrowed a tiny little microphone like this. And we went into one of my partner's basements. And it's where there was the most amount of silence in the house. And we decided to just all huddle around this microphone and to talk about books, knowledge, information, and things that we just loved to talk about that deepened our understanding and our values and who we were as entrepreneurs, business owners, people, motivational speakers, and even just human beings, family members, and more. And I think that's so cool where we've come from and where we are going. And today we've had the amazing opportunity to interview not only a legend, but an NFL Hall of Famer, an awesome person, someone who I have had the actually, I'm going to go as far to say as I'm probably very, very unique as to the experience I've had getting to know and meeting Mr. Nick Lowery, everybody, adding him to the screen. What's going on, brother?
I was hired to provide therapy for John because he just lacks energy. Guidelines, he lacks energy, he lacks enthusiasm, never smiles. And as awesome as Eric Swanson may be, I don't know. I think John may be outpacing him right now. I'm just gonna say, Eric, you got some competition, buddy.
I love spending time with Nick. He's got lots of humor and jokes, but that's what life's all about. Is when there's so much that we could complain about and be negative about. A good smile, a great chuckle, and an awesome laugh can make the world a big difference. And I'm just grateful to have you as a friend to get to know you a little bit. And we had a unique experience. And I want to introduce you a little bit. But you guys, this is Nick Lowery. This is an absolute legend. Most of us grew up watching this guy on television, play for the Kansas City Chiefs as one of the greatest kickers in NFL history. Well, one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Nick the Kick, everybody. And he has been so much fun to associate with and hear from. And I got to hear him speak on stage recently. And I'd heard him speak. I'm aware of the amazing philanthropy and charitable projects that you're involved in. And you're a busy guy, man. You're keeping up and you're still chasing and still creating amazing opportunities and scoring points in the world through either kicking or speaking and so many other things. So I'm just so proud and so excited to have you on today, and would love to just get into an intimate conversation with you. But first of all, I just appreciate you, man. Thanks for the smiles. Thanks for the jokes. I do want to say one thing. Is that I think I'm probably one of the only people in the world that can say that I have shared, like almost Lady and the Tramp shared, not my spaghetti, but my breakfast burrito with Nick Lowery, everybody.
So that's why I got sick for 2 weeks. Just kidding.
You got COVID right after all of our experiences. Oh, man. So, man, I'm grateful that you're here today. What's going on in your world, and what's something that you're grateful for today?
Well, I'm certainly grateful for people like you and Dee Dee and all the group from Speak Up and the people that are trying to make sense of this crazy world where politics is split in half and nothing of sanity in the middle. It's more about judgment than about action. It's more about, putting people in their place and creating space for love, for healing, for opportunities for people. Lots of people now, I do a program called Champions for the Homeless, and we see an exponential increase in people that have no mental health issues, no drug issues. They lost their job, and then they had a huge medical emergency, and that took them right out. And a huge percentage of the population, at least 50% of the population right now in this country, is vulnerable to that happening. And we need to have awareness of that for ourselves, if you want to call it selfish reason, but also to make America more the land of promise that it was intended to be. John, I grew up next door, if you can believe it, next door to a Supreme Court justice who led the NFL in rushing twice for 2 different teams in 3 years, Justice Byron Whizzer White, Rhodes Scholar, best friend of John F. Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy was in their front yard right next door at 6801 Hampshire Road. They don't live there anymore, and we don't live at 6803 Hampshire Road, but you're welcome to see it in McLean, Virginia. In fact, Justice Kennedy lived down from that too, and Justice Scalia, his kids delivered our papers for 20 years. Justice Rehnquist, both his kids, were friends of mine. And growing up next door and in school with Kennedys and Bushes, you grew up in an era in the 60s when the idea of Kennedy's vision of the Peace Corps and of asking not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. This is before the Vietnam War started to escalate. And I've been an extension of, you can't see it, so I'm going to turn this, but oops, I just lost you.
I'll give you full spray.
This is what happens when you push the, there we go. So right there, that is a wonderful Sports Illustrated article and a letter from Bill Clinton next to it about Americorps. And I just have to say, you're asking me where I'm at. I'm at a place where I just lost my brother this week on Tuesday. And after a valiant 2.5-year struggle against Alzheimer's, dementia, and prostate cancer, and I got a very strong view of the healthcare system. But with COVID, we channeled our energy, even as my brother was having his challenges. His name is Chris, and that's him right. Let's see if I can do this right. That's him right there. Even in the midst of that, we focused, as all of us can do, on what can we do? What can we do? What is our unique contribution, gift, talent? And so we made Phoenix the first city in the country to provide free COVID testing to the homeless way back in mid to late April of 2020. And we provided vaccinations here about 5-6 weeks ago at St. Vincent De Paul. We've done probably twice as many events with 1/10 as many volunteers because of COVID restrictions. But my point is that all of us always can do something to help others. That's not a cliche. That also is making the world better. It's not just and one person at a time. That may not feel like it's changing the world, but when we change the values back to what they always have been and raise them up and say service and contribution lead to that full circle of true success, not only putting on paper that my salary is a success and my house is a success, my car is a success, my image is a success. All that is BS if we don't feel like a success. And that's the magic of it. I'm sure Eric enjoys doing things that circumvent all of that ego-based stuff, which we probably grew up with, to be athletes, to win the trophies, etc. But over time, we grow as people into realizing that makes us feel happy. That's what real happiness is. That's the happiness that no one can take away from us. So a very long answer to you, but that's where I'm at today, mostly with Champions for the Homeless. We do some work with American Indians, and then things like last week with my friend Bill Walsh, who's been part of the team as well, and my friend Lee Steinberg sitting next to me on the stage, and some other amazing people, Greg Reed, a guy named Mars Callahan. I mean, just people that are really understanding to intentionally combine talent, hard work, and focus with contribution, with sharing it. So thanks for asking. I hope I haven't lost too many people with that answer.
I love that, and you can feel your energy and excitement as well as the emotion in what you do and what you say. And I mean, the appropriate response is, I hope you're proud, because this is amazing. But it's not about pride as in the pat on the shoulder, but it's the people that we've been able to serve through your means. I want to share just a short list. Nick Lowery is a Hall of Fame athlete, Ivy League scholar, 3-time presidential aide, author, poet, teacher, philanthropist. He's been featured on ABC's 2020 World News Tonight and a long list of amazing other things. He's a Harvard MPA. He's worked with the Reagan drug and abuse policy, and the list goes on and on and on. There's so many amazing things, and it's not just the amazing history of playing for the Kansas City Chiefs and being deemed one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. So it's amazing. Your answer is exactly who you are. There's nothing short of you being that amazing and wanting to turn around and help people. I just love that.
Well, the other part of it is it's sort of like the analogy 101, 202, in the courses. Life 101, Life 202, Life 303, Life 404. Every time you step out on stage and help somebody see their lives in more light, see their lives with better perspective and more space between the choices so they can really understand which is the better choice. When we help somebody understand the one thing that's the most important thing to them that can really make a difference, we change their lives. So what a blessing it is. I love it. And I'll try to ignore the phone in my office because a lot of people have been calling, mostly just to extend condolences about Chris. And just for a second about Chris. Chris had a master's from Stanford in screenwriting. He had a double major at Swarthmore in English and psychology. He was a truly special guy. And unfortunately, like all of us, if we're not careful and don't continue to be intentional, we can lose sight of how we make a difference in the world. And all I know is I had the blessing to look after him and look around your family and decide which person, on your block, someone, maybe you're just walking by every day. Those little things feed this internal soulful file cabinet in us. And we get better and better and better. So we go from 101 to 202 to 303, maybe to 505, that level way up there where the up there is not about ego. It's just simply knowing that our intuition's better, our choices, our perceptions of other people, and our ability to help them. And in turn, if we can see other people clearly, with any luck, we can turn that and see ourselves better, steer away from the things that are a waste of time. And again, live a life that's more full, more rich, and more full of smiles and laughter. I mean, one thing about Dee Dee Wong and people that are authentic to what they really are best at is the sheer joy and laughter and kindness that she has. And you notice these qualities. Everybody has different personalities, styles of leadership, but there's an infectious quality of energy to people that really have aligned themselves with the things that matter the most and walk that on a consistent basis. By the way, you have pretty good energy too.
Hey, thank you. And I want to transition just for a second because that is amazing, and I feel your love. And when you say spend time and take care of your family, that rings true for all of us. And I think that's such an amazing principle to remember. And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for connecting energy as well. I want to transition for a second because you and I, we've been able to speak on one virtual stage together prior, but I actually got to know you better when we both flew to Dallas to participate on Dee Dee Wong and Masoom's production of Speak Up on Amazon Prime Video. And that was an amazing opportunity.
Amazon Prime Video, everybody. Amazon Prime Video. That's right. Get on there and watch John Kovach and Dee Dee Wong and an all-star team, Murderers Row. What do they call the New York Yankees with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, Tony Lasso? That's what you're getting with Amazon Prime Video's Speak Up.
Exactly. And I love that you just did that. I'm going to share a screen here and I'm going to open up my, it looks like inversion. So you should be able to see, do you see the Amazon Prime screen?
I do. And I love the first person up there. That's pretty cool. And Chanel below me, just once again, every one of these people will tell you. Clara tells this story. You tell this story when you got caught there and you almost had to saw off your arm just like a certain other person and you had to squeeze through. And squeeze through all the junk of life and find and carve out a new way. And then, of course, if you didn't do that, the people behind you wouldn't know how to do it. Gary, who'd never spoken before, and yet is a brilliant young man who has a lot to share in terms of how to manage your money, and just amazing human being. Jennifer, who's always enjoyed writing, and now she's just jumped both feet into being a speaker and helping others. And then Sarana, who had been in London and then went to, where was it, Belize or somewhere?
Tulum. I think she's in Tulum.
That's right, Tulum. And she'd worked through a huge breakup. All these people being willing to talk about deep scars to their soul and how they work through them. The point is, every one of us has that. Every one of us has been betrayed or disappointed in significant ways, some less than others, but still we found a way to do something with it. Taylor Cole, amazing story. And then, oh my gosh, I was so impressed with Sherry James and James Pogue about mental health. In fact, I recorded with NFL alumni. May was Mental Health Month. We did PSAs about mental health. I focused on suicide. You know, there's a 25% increase in suicide in this country. Wow. And the number, I hosted one of the first town halls on suicide with Dr. Barbara Van Dalen, President Trump's director of the Prevents Task Force. And it really was a legitimate effort to look at what is this ridiculously horrific level of suicide. Well, let's think about suicide. If I don't know what my life's about and I feel powerless and I feel like I can only see these options, sometimes that option is the worst one of all. So, you know, I love the fact each of these people is expanding space to talk about important things, some of which people used to call taboo, like suicide, and to talk about mental health, which used to be taboo. All of us have challenges in terms of maintaining the most positive mood, and as Eric Swanson would say, and John Kovach, of course, habitude, the habit of attitude that either propels you forward or holds you back. Think about what a kicker does. What I had to do, I had to make the field goals, and I might have made 20 in a row. If I missed one, I'd walk into a crypto store, true story, and I think I told this story, and the lady, you know, I was 22 for 23, and she's getting milk and orange juice from me and eggs, and she goes, "I know you. You're Nick Lowery. You're the kicker for the cheese." I had this big, what I call porn star mustache back then. Yeah, you're the kicker for the cheese. Yeah. I saw you miss that field goal. What is wrong with you? I could have made that kick. And my point is, great leaders, whether you're Joe Biden or Donald Trump or just a leader like John Kovach in your own unique way, if we don't realize that criticism, and in particular unfair and inaccurate criticism, is just going to be part of the mix, along with great, wonderful people that support us and love the work we do, that's the thing we got to work through. Because that's what's holding us back, is our ego, that somebody doesn't like us, as opposed to, you know, our creator giving us an opportunity. Whatever creator you want to define as, I call it Jesus Christ, and God giving us unique gifts, using them, polishing them, falling down, stumbling, missing field goals, but then learning and getting better, learning, then pushing the other stuff back there, out of the way, so we can see all the great light and opportunities in front of us. So the kicker has to do that. If I miss a field goal in a game, and I think about that, when I line up for the next one, the chances of me being unsuccessful are a little bit greater, right? Mm-hmm. So being able to see that, to practice that. One thing, I'll make a suggestion right here. I bet you John Kovach, more than most people by a long shot, visualizes, writes down, sees what he's trying to do, plans out what he's trying to do. Not always, but absolutely affirms, this is who I am, this is where I'm going. This is who I am, this is where I'm going. This is who I am, this is where I'm going. And when you make that on your mirror, in your wallet, on your forehead, whatever it is, you paste it on your soul. This is who I am, this is where I'm going. Or as Russell Wilson would say, the great quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, whose father, speaking of mentors, was my teammate in college. Russell's father would tell him, "Why not you? Why not you? Why not you?
Yeah.
Why not you?" So ask yourself that question every day. Why not me? Why can't I be great? And by the way, is that great just for my ego, or is the great for just being all that I can be, so I can serve and thank my creator, thank my family, my parents that were there for me? If my parents were not there for me, thank myself and those others that stepped in, and maybe I transcended all of that hate and pain to still find a way to make a difference. Some people will use that pain and that wound to make sure it never happens to anybody else. And that is the most beautiful thing of all. When you see people that take their pain and channel it so that they're the father that they never had. They're the mother that they never had. They're the family they create that they never had, instead of the reverse. Let me tell you, that first choice is a hell of a lot better.
Wow.
I shut you
Yeah, you did. My jaws dropped. My voice can't speak. You guys, those listening in right now who are watching live, or those who are listening to the recording on our Anchor podcast, you feel that. You feel all of that, and you feel it in his energy. Thank you for sharing all of that. And I love that principle of why not you. What a great story. And you guys, if you get to know Nick, he's got probably 3 lifetimes of stories, just with all the experiences, all the work that he's done, and all the things that he's done to save and help and serve other people. And it's absolutely amazing. And I challenge all of you to do so, to think, why not me? To go out there and, like Nick said, to chase what you want, or chase those dreams, because, why not you? Why not? And I love that aspect of it. Your message on Speak Up was very, very similar, in that you were talking about the kicks in life that we can all take. And some miss, some make it. But I love that story about the lady at the grocery store. And it's funny how people remember the wrong things, but very few remember the right things,
Well, they don't see the path and the work that you've done. Like for me, the transformation for me was towards the end of my career, creating that weight room and this field where I would run and kick, and all the different places, taking martial arts or ballet or whatever. They didn't see much of that. They didn't see maybe any of that. The hard work and the misses and the pain and the frustration and the injuries, they just see the end result. And when we get to the point where we love the work so much that the work is the prize, and the work is no longer work, because you just see individually what I'm doing right now, this one exercise, this hamstring curl, or these box jumps, or particular stretching or balance exercise, or whatever, visual, everything, you don't go to the point of thinking. You absolutely at that point know it's going to help you. You're going to be even better for it. And that feels more hard work, more dedication. And by the way, part of that is also recovery. Some of us burn ourselves out too much by thinking we could never do enough work, and so we never stop. And I think the recovery's role is to help us take stock, learn, and adjust. It isn't simply, rest and then start killing yourself again. Take stock, work the consistent discipline of your craft, but also take stock, learn, and go, I'm now on a higher branch than I was 3 weeks ago. I can see a couple new options I didn't 3 weeks ago. And one of those options is better than the one I'm taking right now.
That's amazing. That adds depth to my formula here. Stress plus rest equals growth. I love the depth that you've added to it, because it's not just rest and then getting back to it at 100%. There's evaluation there. There's some pretty cool things. I love that. Amazing. One last thing I want to ask you, and I just you've already taken the opportunity in your intro, in your telling of your family member, and our hearts and our love and our energy are with you, Nick, at this time. And also just in the principles you've been teaching, you're a natural born teacher. You want to educate, you want to teach. I do want to share, or ask you to share with my audience, if there really was like a golden nugget of knowledge, like one thing, one simple little tweak in anyone's lives, what would be that knowledge nugget you would share with those that is easily applicable, or not even easy, but just simply enough applicable for us to make changes in our lives?
Well, on that stage at Speak Up, that stage was circular, and it was about 8-10 feet wide, or in diameter. And I said, this is really perfect, because this is like the mound when you're a pitcher. I was a college pitcher. If I'd had a different coach, I might have played pro baseball, but it worked out great. And I'm not at all regretful that I ended up being the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And the reason was, in the midst of being cut by 8 teams 11 times, that 12th time, I was so much better. And it was because more and more, before that, during that time when I beat out the greatest kicker in the history of the game before me, Jan Stenerud. But I realized that that mound or that circle is like the space between where the ball's going to be kicked from and where I'm beginning my approach. Now, I may be in front of 80,000 people screaming obscenities at me and very wonderfully creative things about my mom and friends, etc. But if I can just realize with clarity that all I have to do is stay in control of managing my thoughts right here. I can't control the wind. I can't control the referee. I can't control the 11 huge people, because there are always people out there that are not happy when you're successful. Let's say it's the Raiders and they're coming at me. And by the way, I'm now friends with a lot of Raiders now because we really share that.
You couldn't be in the past, but you can now.
There were some special things that they shared. But I can't control them. I can control this and this alone. If I take care of that, then that bigger goal, which is that goalpost down the road, which is the higher purpose and contribution that literally changes the world for the better forever, that will happen. Not can, it will happen.
Oh man, that's beautiful. And I there was one thing I wanted to add to this. You mentioned the stage on Speak Up. Here's your episode, and the first line. Here's your first line.
So honored to be here. This is the perfect stage, and I think each of the speakers today actually has really done a great job of focusing on this place right here. My speech today is about finding your purpose. It's about a concept of
So cool. The first line, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, "This is the perfect stage," and the speakers have been mounting this stage. What a cool, eminence to the whole show and what Didi's created and what Masoom's production studio has been able to provide on such a cool TV show. I want to
Yes. Yeah. Masoom,
Yeah.
I mean, we got him because that production value, as good as it was in past years, this year, Speak Up, I mean, I'm biased. I think the speakers are the best too. But
I think we're the best, yeah. Season 3, all the way.
Also are great. And production values are important. When you see a good movie, you get to see things in the shade and the light and the space, and it really helps frame, literally, what's most important. And I think maybe that's the attitude to take in life. If I was to give you some concluding thoughts, is how do we frame our lives so that only good things, only the best part of ourselves comes out, and in turn, we're able to react with the best part of ourselves, even when what's coming at us isn't so great. I mean, so it is like a painting, and Masoom's production values are first class, Didi's first class, and then you put it out there. You put out a show, you put out messages, and then God handles the rest. I mean, that's what we do. John Kovach starts a show. It gets better and better and better. He does other things, and some of them work, some don't work. You learn and you get better, and you keep putting it out there, and eventually your skill set, your craftsmanship, your command, your mastery are extraordinary. And I have to say that was the best gift of all towards the end of my career, is knowing that I knew how to put in the work, being humble enough to know I had to prove it every single game, but also what a concept we haven't even used, which is gratitude. Grateful that we figured those things out, and we'll never get away from, no, this success helps me help others and make change that really matters.
I want to thank you for sharing that, and I want to thank you for speaking principles of truth, because we were talking about this on the episode where I interview Didi Wong, and she was talking about the exact same thing, that the value and power of gratitude will transcend a lot of the efforts in which we want to achieve in our lives. And you nailed it on the head. I should say you kicked it out of the park, and that's an amazing feature. And I appreciate that word of wisdom and those nuggets of knowledge that you've shared with my listeners. And we challenge you, listeners who are listening in right now, to take action on that, to make that one little pivot or that tiny little switch, or just making that one little effort in your life, because it's not just about you, it's about those who will be affected by the awesome that you provide. So I love that.
Thanks, buddy. And by the way, it's Nick Lowery, LOWERY.com or .org, in case you have trouble finding it. It's okay. My whole life, my last name has been misspelled, but I know that if you want to find it, you'll find nicklowery.org. And there's lots of great stories about the testing for the homeless for COVID, and the work that we do with American Indian kids, giving them a sense of their own power. and giving them their own stage as well. So thanks for letting me tell people about the work that we do. And if you want, just Google Champions for the Homeless, but also Google Speak Up, baby. Speak up, find your purpose, make a difference.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to exit with a quick short video. I want to be respectful of your time. Nick, thank you for joining me today. And let's do it again sometime. But next time I'm in Arizona, I'm taking you out for a game of golf. Okay, so we'll.
Hey, John, one last thing. Eric Swanson, if you're watching or when you're watching, Sharon Lechter loves me more. Get over it. She loves me more. It's okay. You can try with gifts, try to bribe her. But in the end, the game's over, buddy. It's just over. I still love you, though.
I love it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I respect and honor your time, and God bless you and your family at this time too. And thank you for all you do.
Thanks, John. Have a great day.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Take care, sir. We'll talk to you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick Lowery, and it is spelled Low. Make sure I get it right here. Make sure we get it all right, which is boom. Lowery. Make sure we get it all right. I think I spelled it wrong. Dang it. Okay. Let me make sure I correct it so that those watching on our branding here know that we had it right. And he said that, it's kind of like my name. Everyone would say John Kovach or John Kovach or something. And it doesn't matter to me. Like, it is what it is. I'm glad to be recognized. I'm glad to, have some sort of recognition. Just hearing your name in whether it's spelled right or spelled wrong, it is super powerful. So I am grateful for that. And just so that we have it right here, save it on the bottom. And I think this is cool because if I can make that mistake here live and you guys know, then we can all remember, right? And so that's a principle that we can always remember. So Lowery, I had it wrong. Just a honest mistake. And there you go. But look, guys, go check out Nick Lowery. Go check out his website, by the way. I was diving through his notes in his website and I was looking at all the things that he did. And check out this post link where I have his bio. You guys, it just goes on and on and on. He is serving and building the communities. I'm grateful for him. And I did want to throw in a little bit of context to when we were on stage, I guess backstage in the break room or green room on Speak Up's season 3. I came to the studio with my breakfast burrito. And honestly, before I speak, I don't like to have a full tummy. I just like to, have a lot of water in me so that I don't get, cotton mouth or dry mouth when I'm up there. And so I'm eating, I'm just like chiseling away at this breakfast burrito, and Nick walks in and he just looks at me, but then he glances down. You see his eyes go down and then he glances back up at me. And so I said, "Hey, Nick, you want some of this?" And he goes, "Oh, well, if you're offering." And because he was, because I offered, and so we shared the breakfast burrito. So I will be one of the very few people who, one of my great claims to fame is that I've shared a breakfast burrito with Nick Lowery. I want to thank everybody for participating in our show and continuing this awesome conversation where we go below the surface. The Circle of Knowledge was never meant to be a surface level informational providing podcast. We're not like true crime where we get into just the facts. But on episodes of season 5, you're going to hear from all the participants of the season 3 of Speak Up on Amazon Prime. You're going to hear from a lot of my Olympic friends from the area of the Winter Olympics to the Summer Olympics. I've got a lot of champion friends, but this is a platform and a podcast where we go beyond the surface and we try to get as deep as we can in the little time that we have to share with you the applicable knowledge and nuggets that you can take with you every single day to live the life that you want to live. And selfishly, you guys, I want to speak pretty bluntly. I don't know everything and I don't know a lot. The more I learn, the more I realize the less I know. Okay. So the more I learn, the more I realize that the less I know. And because of that principle, I know that I've got a lot to learn. But by taking this opportunity to connect with the people that I look up to most, Nick Lowery is a legend to me. I was a child when I watched him play on television. Okay. Dee Wong and some of the amazing speakers who I'm going to introduce on our Speak Up lineup here coming up on the episodes soon to come, and our regular schedule will continue. I looked up to these people, and I've spent my entire life looking up. And now for a brief moment in time, I'm not looking up anymore. I'm looking straight at them. And that is something that I never envisioned, but just took the action to make happen in my life. And so I wanted to take that tiny little monologue, and I want to share with you guys a really cool promo video. Check this out. Season 2, Speak Up on Amazon Prime. Go check it out. Episode number 1 is Nick Lowery. Go check it out.
My name is Clara Capano.
Chanel Aramelli.
I'm John Kovach Jr.
Jennifer Blair.
Taylor Cole Longacre.
Tristan Helm. Hi, I'm Gary McDermott.
Meredith Allen.
Sorana Pascario.
Nick Lowery.
Sherry James.
And James Pope.
Experience these amazing speakers and more on the Speak Up stage on Amazon Prime Video and MPN Global.
As you go and check out the Speak Up episode, or season 3, on all of the episodes, you guys will have the honor of hearing from Sherry James, Taylor Cole Longacre, Chanel Aramili, who you'll hear from next week. And so Jennifer Blair, amazing, Clara Capano, Gary McDermott, who you also just heard from today, Nick Lowery, Sorana Pascario, Meredith Allen, Tristan Helm, and myself. What an amazing thing. And I was telling people that the show, Speak Up, it's one of those shows where you can binge watch. It really is one of those shows that you can sit down and just be like, I need to consume all of this at the same sitting, because it's different than TED Talks. I'll never bash, I'll never say anything about any other organization, because they have their own right and value. But with the structure that Dee and Masoom envisioned with the show, it allowed the speakers to feel so genuine on stage and give less of a presentation and more of their own personal performance. And I'm very grateful for that. What an awesome opportunity it was to be on the stage. And I'm a loud and proud supporter of Amazon Prime Video, Speak Up television show, Empower Your Ideas, brought to you by MPN Global. So if you guys have any questions or want to find out more about that, you can send me a direct message. If you go back to the first episode of season 5, you'll get to hear from Dee Wong, and you can also reach out to her. She shares her personal contact information as well there. Also, one actual request, please, if you're listening to this, if you're watching it live, please go to our podcast channel wherever you like to watch podcasts. If you like to watch podcasts on YouTube, if you like to watch them just here live on Facebook or LinkedIn, thank you for being here. If you like to listen to the podcast and you're listening to this through Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play or Google Podcasts, or whichever platform you love, would you please just give us a 5-star review, or give us a review. Let us know what you're loving about the show. And I want to also direct that too, is go find the Amazon Prime Video TV show Speak Up and give them a review as well, because 1, the messages on that stage need to be heard. 2, the stories need to reach more people. And 3, let us know, let Dee know what exactly it is that you loved about the messages, about what's being told, because those are the messages of the up and coming and the rising and the amazing speakers that the world needs to have access to. So there you go. I'm a loud and proud presenter of that. I always am so excited to share my award-winning experience with, I say award-winning, because we walk away with an award having been on the show, and it's just a phenomenal feeling. So there you go. That's why I say it the way I say it. Wrapping this session up, you guys, I'm so grateful. Go and give us a like, a share, a follow, share with your friends. If you want to help donate and help promote the show, you can do so, and we really appreciate that. And anyone who gives us a 5-star review, I review them every week. We will give you an honorable vocal message and mention on each one of our episodes. So not each, sorry, but on the next episode, which we have. And there's a few people who have been on our show or who were given a spot on our show due to the various reviews that they have left, because we're curious. We're very curious. I misspelled. I'll admit one of my failures here. Ironic. I misspelled Lowery. I also misspelled Malcolm Gladwell. Okay. We didn't have Malcolm on the show, but we talked about several of Malcolm's books. And we had several guests who had done a deep dive in Malcolm Gladwell. And maybe it's a little bit of dyslexia, but I'm not going to blame it. I'm just going to say it was carelessness. And I misspelled Malcolm. And so we had a gentleman come in and leave a review saying, you spelled Malcolm wrong twice. This is no longer a circle of knowledge. It's a triangle of idiots. That was their review. And I couldn't help but laugh and say, wow, thank you for calling us out. And I was able to switch it. So if you can't spelling it, because we're really good at fixing that. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you. Appreciate you. This is season 5. This is amazing. We just had Nick Lowery on, NFL Hall of Famer, Chief Hall of Fame. He's got a long list of amazing accomplishments, but my favorite part is every time I tried to do it. Nick's a buddy, and he's a really cool dude. I've gotten to know him in really cool ways, and I look forward to more opportunities to serve with him. But the more you talk about him to him, the more he'll deflect and talk about the good in the world that he could do better, as well as the message and the principle trying to people. And I love that because, guys, in this world, in this industry of self-development, there's a lot of people who are, I guess, barking. They're creating a lot of noise, but not all of it is genuine. Not all of it is here to serve you. And I hope that you resonate with us and that this message serves you. And that's all that I care about. We don't seek out the payment or the opportunity for this podcast and this message to pay us the big bucks. Podcasting could pay us the big bucks, but we don't. We're just focused on giving you the information. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, please reach out to me at social media, at John Kovach Jr. You can also reach out to me via email. You can send us an email, amcircleofknowledge@gmail.com, or you can just send me an email, John, that's Jon, at amplifiedminds.com. Okay, one last thing. You guys are probably all wondering, what's up with the rebrand? I thought this was the Amplified Minds podcast. It was. And we've now transitioned to our mother company, which is Champion Circle Networking Association. So I'm proud to be that founder and chairman. We have an executive team who's working hard to grow the membership of our networking association, bringing the ideals of mastermind methodologies, recreational fun, and the intense accountability required to see you win and become a champion in every area and level of your life. So without any further ado, thank you for joining us today on the Circle of Knowledge podcast. I appreciate you as our listeners. And until next time, take care. Just know that the next episode, we will have some amazing speakers, knowledge providers, and nugget givers. There you go. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful, blessed day.